There's some things I want to talk about that are hard to talk about. You think you're going to get more flack. You think you're going to get a negative response for speaking about something. And it may be something where you feel you're being treated badly, but the other person doesn't see it. They don't even know it. They're unconscious to it, but to you, you don't like it. Feels like it's unjust. But you know if you bring it up, the person has to see something in themselves that they're not willing to see. And it may actually break the relationship. It may change it considerably. And so I think what a lot of Canadians do is we sit and we take it, especially if the person is in a higher power position, and you just deal with it. You put up with it. But over time, you do this with a lot of things because it's just easier. You want to avoid the conflict. But you never really take a stand for yourselves. And then you never really get close to that person. You're always watching from a distance. You're always wondering, do you think they'll get aware enough to know what they're doing here? But they don't. And so when we speak about changing the world, or when we speak about synergy and bond creating, we have to look at some fundamental human frailties. Because we're all in a certain situation. We all get trapped by our circumstances. We get trapped by the people we're around. We get trapped by our jobs. We get trapped by our families. We may not call it a trap, but we end up being a certain way. We end up adapting. And it may not be exactly what we want. It may not be something that makes us happy. But we either think we can get out of it at some point. We just put up for it so long, circumstances or the conditions or the people will change. Or you're stuck and they won't. And when you're stuck in something and you see no way out, that can really start to bring a person down, bring their emotional state down. For the rest of their lives, they may be sort of coasting towards their death, not realizing that they have given up in a sense because they feel so trapped. And you can see it in the faces of the elders. You can see it in the faces of people as they get older and older. The youth don't seem to have the look. The youth seem to have something in their energy and their vibrancy. They haven't been beaten down yet. And so the kind of communication that we share with one another has many sort of levels of intimacy, where depending upon how aware or conscious each other is, depending upon how aware we read where the other person is at, depending about how aware we are aware of our impact on somebody, because we all impact people in different ways. We all affect each other when we're in proximity to each other. And some of the ways are positive and a lot of the ways are negative. And in work situations and office situations and family situations and situations where people come together a lot, they come together in the same space. They share the same space. And then they interact. And then they communicate. And they either communicate with love or they can communicate with irritation. They can communicate with acceptance or they can communicate with judgment. Whatever is the underlying feeling that someone has towards somebody, that feeling is transmitted with the communication. So if you don't like someone, the tone can be felt in the languaging and the energy you feel. Everyone can do it. A lot of us shut down to it because we don't want to hear it or we don't want to feel bad. So we grow armor when we're in these situations. And there's a lot of situations, let's say in corporations, where you have to get along. You have to seem like you're getting along, but you build up an armor that probably started in school, and then it just got better and better and better. And so what happens is, human beings, fundamentally, we don't trust each other, and we probably get irritated with each other that we never speak about it, but it's there. Now, depending upon our thinking, depending upon how we interpret life or people, we can adjust it. We can change it. We can create a better attitude. We can create a good attitude with everybody. But it comes with having control over one's emotions, control over one's thinking, control over one's actions, where you are very aware of who you are and how to interact with these people around you. Now, for my own part, I can't say that I'm good at interacting with humans. I pick up too much. I see too much. And at this stage in my life, where I reached a certain level of awareness, I have to go in, let's say, as a teacher, or I have to go in as someone who's going to be a catalyst in group situations. I'm not there to fit in anymore. I'm not there to really do anything other than be utilized for what I am as a wizard. Because now I have the knowledge, I have the tools, I have what it takes to transform a group or individual or community. But to do so, you have to be recognized as a wizard. You have to be recognized as somebody who can come in and fundamentally transform the individuals, the group, the situation. And that's what the group wants. That's the hard part. You may say you want it. You may think you want it. But when you're going through it, you may go, I don't think so. This isn't quite what I signed up for, and I don't want to play anymore. And I think we're all like that. Sometimes I'm in situations and I know what's going to happen. And it's like I just have to stand there and things are going to happen. But it's not me. I have the intention, and I have, let's say, some skills, I have knowledge, but we're conduits. We're conduits for energy, for higher sources when we aim to be. And so spirit can come through us. But when everyone opens to that spirit with a good heart and a good mind, and that can happen at dance parties, that can happen at feasts, that can happen in places where humans are joyous and going with friendly terms. But to do that in business, or to do that in your family, or to do that with your friends, it may be easy, it may be difficult. It may be where you're always at, or it may be where you're never at. And so you're bringing in a wizard or a catalyst to have you experience a higher energy state. Have you experience a different type of communication? Have you experience using tools that transform the patterns, the agendas, everything, and starts to bring people into a more open-minded arena? And this can be done in many different ways, depending upon what the situation is. Is it a business? Is it a party? Is it a family? And how bad is your situation? And how good do you want to make it? And what are you willing to pay or exchange or do for that? So if you're seeing this video right now, this is me beginning to try to explain what I do, what I can do. And I'm willing to start to step into the world to build the organization Planetary Guardians, and to connect with like-minded individuals who want to build a new system, who want to create something new, who want to learn how to use a new operating system, and to get the tools for you and your members, your allies, and your customers to start to think in a very unique way. Start to organize your information in a very unique way. Start to share your knowledge in a very unique way. It's time. It's time.